The summer's big movie blockbuster is Top Gun Maverick, which already has sold well over $1.5 billion in theater tickets worldwide. The film stars Tom Cruise as an older, somewhat wiser version of the brash Navy pilot Pete Mitchell, the character he portrayed in the 1986 hit Top Gun. Though both Top Gun films are fictional, they're inspired by a real-life military aviation program, the U.S. Navy Fighter Weapons School. The real Top Gun, which the Navy started in 1969 in order to reduce combat losses in Vietnam, originally was based at what was then known as Naval Air Station Miramar in California. That was the setting for the first Top Gun film. That location is now a Marine Corps air base, and since the mid-1990s, Top Gun has been located at Naval Air Station Fallon in Nevada. While the location, the aircraft, and the technology have changed over the years, the mission is essentially the same. Top Gun aims to elevate the gains of elite Navy fighter pilots, so they can go out as teachers and pass along state-of-the-art skills and knowledge to other Navy aviators, thus raising everyone else's tactical performance, according to the U.S. Department of Defense's website about the program. The best way to describe the ultimate purpose of Top Gun is to ensure that naval aviation is trained and ready, and has the tactics required to win in combat against any adversary at any time, explains Commander Christopher Pops Papayono, a veteran Navy pilot and Top Gun alumnus who served as the school's commanding officer in 2018 to 2019. To achieve that purpose, students at Top Gun take one of 3 courses, according to Papayono. In addition to the Strike Fighter Tactics Instructors, or in short SFTI course, the one that's depicted in the movies, there are 2 9-week courses. In the first, some Top Gun pilots learn to replicate the capacity and tactics used by other countries, so they can play the part of enemy flyers more realistically in Navy training exercises. In the second, students learn via simulators how to operate their sensors and provide the SFTIs with situational awareness to help guide their decision-making. Graduates often go on to become instructors at the Navy's weapons schools, but they also help develop operational testing for new aircraft under development by putting them into tactical scenarios that show whether a fighter jet is capable of what it's supposed to do. And some are offered a chance to become instructors at Top Gun itself. So, what it takes to join Top Gun? In the 13-week-long Fighter Tactics Instructors course, the pilots go through a demanding regimen of classroom instruction and studying, continually analyzing what they do in the air. Those who go on to become Top Gun instructors have an even more grueling requirement. After researching some aviation topic with the goal of becoming a subject area expert, they're required to go through what's called the murder board and give a 3-hour lecture completely from memory. Between flying, studying, and teaching, an instructor could be putting in a 12 to 16 hour a day. That intellectual rigor is one of the reasons that flying skill is only one of the requirements for making Top Gun. We're looking for 3 things, Papayono says. The first one is passion. They have to be passionate about being good in the airplane. They have to be passionate about instructing. They have to be passionate about doing this job. The second most important qualification is having the right personality. While Hollywood might make brash overconfidence seem like a prerequisite, Top Gun actually is looking for the opposite sort of temperament. If they come in confident, overconfident, and cocky, that's not like a personality that you can make better, Papayono says. Instead, the program favors somebody who is humble, who can go do an event, makes a big comeback, recognize that they've made some mistakes, and be willing to critique themselves or allow us as instructors to make them better. Sheer talent as a pilot actually ranks 3rd, according to Papayono. The way we look at it is if they've got the passion, and they've got the ability, we're going to make them better. Top Gun pushed me to expand the envelope of my ability, resulting in a much higher level of competence after departing the staff as an instructor, explains Guy Snodgrass, a 2006 Top Gun graduate who became an instructor at the school for 3 years and wrote a book, Top Gun's Top 10 Leadership Lessons from the Cockpit, about what he learned at Top Gun that is transferable to other endeavors. This constant demand for excellence spanned all phases of flight, from preparation, effective flight briefing, to mission execution and debriefing, says Snodgrass, who now is CEO of Defense Analytics, a national security and foreign policy advisory firm. The secret to Top Gun's success is unrelentingly high standards and the opportunity to gain experience at elite levels of training. The first time you rip around at 500 feet or 152 meters pulling 7 GS is an eye-opening experience. But when you can operate at such a high level for several years, the ability to perform becomes second nature. In addition to improving his performance as a pilot by refining his skills and reducing imperfections, Snodgrass notes that the training also pushed him to do things that he hadn't done before, to become more creative and a better problem solver. Top Gun is an immersive program, he explains. You're going full tilt from day one. This means you're stretching your abilities across each and every event, and you're being presented with unique experiences and opportunities along the way. Because the program maintains a high bar, students and instructors get the best of both worlds: personal and professional growth at an accelerated pace. In fact, no one ever beats their instructor. When Snodgrass was under consideration to become an instructor at Top Gun, part of the evaluation was to take a rush ride, a series of simulated dogfights, in which he had to go up against his own Top Gun instructor. In his book, Snodgrass recalls the rush ride as a humbling experience, in which his opponent outmaneuvered him and actually shot him down with a simulated missile in the second of 3 sets. The dejected Snodgrass met with his instructor, analyzed his defeats and outlined needed areas of improvement on a whiteboard. Afterward, he was surprised when his instructor told him that he'd done a nice job. No one ever beats their instructor, he explained, and invited him to stay and become an instructor himself. What he didn't realize was that he wasn't just being evaluated on his flying ability, but on his character specifically, how he would stay committed to learning and improving. Every Top Gun instructor performs a rush ride to test their abilities before the staff votes on whether to accept them as a new member. Snodgrass explains, the type of flight may vary: dogfighting, air-to-ground bombing, large-scale battles, but the overall process remains the same. How does a potential instructor carry themselves? Do they have the talent, passion, and personality to succeed? Snodgrass recalls having to absorb a daunting amount of information at Top Gun. This is part of the course design, adding stress beyond simple flight execution, he says, teaching students how to prioritize the most critical and time-sensitive tasks over those less important. As I relate in my book, I've found this characteristic to be instrumental to long-term success, whether you're in uniform, in a corporate office, or any day-to-day job. The real Top Gun versus the movie version. What's the difference? Movies inevitably embellish real-life experiences for dramatic purposes. Even so, Snodgrass notes that in many ways, the Top Gun films actually got a lot of things right about the program and the experience of participating in it. He was impressed with the flight footage, which Papaionou notes was performed by actual Navy pilots. Beyond that, the real Top Gun has a tremendous amount of camaraderie and esprit de corps, which also shines through in the movies, the former Navy pilot says. But Snodgrass concurs with Papaionou that Hollywood takes license in playing up the characters' egos and craving for competition, which doesn't really fit the Top Gun reality. Being a part of an elite military unit like Top Gun is a genuine team sport. Snodgrass explains, points aren't awarded and rankings don't exist. Instead, it's about iron sharpening iron, setting the conditions where everyone is allowed to achieve their fullest potential. Yes, it's a competitive lifestyle, but not one underpinned by people undercutting each other. Rather, it's about performing to the best of your ability, then learning how to stretch those abilities a little bit further each and every day. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching our mini documentary. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Also, let us know what kind of topics you would like to see next.